Do not buy those expensive makeup products as a beginner until you watch this video. Hi guys, you're welcome to class. My name is Millicent Timothy of Ovo Mills on Instagram. So in this video, I'm going to show you guys how to achieve a very flawless look using minimal products. Watch this video to the end because every step matters. First step is carving your brows. I'm going to be using this new razor blade that is very sharp. Always like a lifted brows, so I'm going to trim out the excess hair on the brow bone and then carve the top. Brush the hair down, carve out the excess hair. Brush the hair up and also carve out the excess hair. If you want that perfect finish after you're done with your makeup, you should carve your brows. For primer, you need to know your skin type before you get a good primer, which are oily combination skin and dry skin. For a dry skin, you need a hydrant primer. My favorite affordable primer is this My Cheek Hydrant Primer. An affordable primer for oily skin is the Pond's Primer. When choosing a foundation shade, you need to consider this category of skin: your tone, your undertone, and your skin type. Worldwide, there are 6 categories of skin tone, which is fair, light, medium, tan, deep, and dark. Most Nigerians recognize 3 skin types, which is fair, medium, and dark. The next category you need to consider is the undertone. The undertone is the color that is underneath our main color. Have you noticed that there are times that you will put like a foundation that is your color, but then because it's not your undertone, it looks off. It's either looking green, ashy, red, or golden on your skin. That means the undertone is not your undertone, so you have to change it and get a foundation that is your undertone. There are 4 different undertones, which is the warm, the neutral, olive, and cool. Most white people have a cool undertone and most dark people have neutral or a warm undertone. How you know a cool undertone? Undertone is pinkish kind of. A neutral undertone is actually a blend of all. That is green, pink undertone, red undertone, golden, yellow. It's just a mixture of everything. Then you have olive, is when undertone looks greenish. There are different ways to determine your undertone. If you find out that you love gold, you like to wear gold, it looks nice on you, gold jewelry, that means you have a warm undertone. Then if you find out that you like to wear silver jewelry, it's flattering on your skin, that means you have a cool undertone. And if you can flex both the silver and the gold, it means you have a neutral undertone. Another way you can determine your undertone is if you check your veins. If your veins are olive greenish in color, that means you have a warm undertone. Blushy, pinkish, that means you have a cool undertone. And if you do not see your veins because you are rich in melanin, that means you are either a cool undertone or a neutral undertone. Next thing you need to consider again before picking up a foundation is your skin type. Do you have an oily skin? Do you have combination skin, or do you have a dry skin? How you determine that is when you wake up from sleep in the morning, your face, if your face is oily, that means you have an oily skin. If your face is dry, it means you have a dry skin. And if some parts of your face is oily, like your T-zones, and some parts are dry, that means you have a combination skin. When you go to buy your foundation, you check the ingredients. I've noticed that Nigerian brands don't really put out their ingredients online or on their bottle, but most international brands put out their ingredients. If you are privileged to buy from an international brand, how you check? Let's say okay, you have a dry skin, you have to check the ingredients. A dry skin needs oils and water-based hydrants that will hydrate your skin when you put your foundation, because when you put your foundation without properly hydrating your skin, the skin is dry and it needs moisture, so it soaks in your foundation and it causes problems for your skin. So you have to check the ingredients on your bottle. For oily skin types, you need a matte foundation because your skin emits a lot of oils, so you need a matte foundation. And if your skin is so oily that it separates your makeup during the course of the day, what you need is waterproof foundation if you have a very oily skin and your makeup tends to move during the course of the day. Another thing you need to consider, because some foundation oxidize, so when you go to buy your foundation, do not be in a rush. When you swatch it on your face, you allow it to dry for, let's say, 2 minutes. Then if it matches your chest, because the neck tends to be darker than both the face and the chest, and it's going to look very funny when you put the foundation. If it matches your chest, then that means it is your foundation shade. And there are some of us that have sensitive skin on our face and our necks. All you need to do is swatch it and then compare it with other parts of your body. Even a blind man can see from afar that this is not my foundation undertone shade. I am a warm yellow and this is a warm golden, and I ran out of my warm yellow foundation shade, so I decided to use this one because I can navigate and tone it down with my powder palette. But for you as a beginner, you cannot do that, so I will advise you just get your foundation shade. To apply my foundation, I use a damp beauty sponge because I like the coverage it gives me. In areas I'm going to put my light concealer, I don't put foundation. This technique reduces creasing under the eyes. For concealers, I love me some good old LA Girl Pro concealers. So you want to use 2 to 3 shades lighter than your foundation shade. So I mixed to get this shade that you're seeing me apply. You want to highlight those parts that are naturally highlighted when light should bounce on your face, which is the under eye, your nose bridge, the triangle on your forehead. I think they call it the temples. My technique is not the conventional technique you see online, because I highlight even both the parts of the nose that I'm not supposed to highlight, because I'm going to come back with my powder contour to contour the nose later. I like to use the tip of the beauty sponge. Lightly dab to blend the concealer in. This palette also houses concealers, but they are thick concealers and I don't advise beginners to use. Why? Because they are not easy to blend at all. To make sure there are no demarcations or harsh lines between the concealer and foundation, the part I use to apply the foundation, I use it to dab the edge of the concealer to give it a seamless finish. Also transfer the concealer to the top of my eyes. That's my eyeshadow plate, because I'm not going to put any eyeshadow there. So I'm just concealing it to give it definition. I'll be setting the parts I highlighted with this loose powder. Right now I'm dabbing my under eye to make sure that there are no creases. Because I'm setting and not baking, I have to take out the excess powder before I put it on my under eye, so I will not bake it by mistake. There are different types of powders to choose from, but I chose a loose powder because concealer tends to move and the concealer will put it in place. I'm also setting my eye plate. To contour, I'm using these 2 shades because my shade is not on the palette. I am not contouring my forehead because it's not spacious. I'm also using the shade I used to contour the inner part of my nose bridge, the part close to the eyes. Then I'm using a lighter shade to contour the rest of the nose. Lightly, don't drag it down, just dab it down. If you drag it down, you might smudge the foundation on the nose. Next is the brows. So I'm brushing my hair up. Normally I would use brow tamer, but for the purpose of this video, I'll just brush it up. So now I'm outlining my brows the way I want the shape to be. I hardly use brow pencil, but again, for the purpose of this video, I'm going to be using brow pencil. Make sure the pencil is sharp so that you can outline the brows well. When I was learning how to draw brows, this was what guided me. The tail should be at the end corner of the eyes. The beginning should be at the beginning part of your nose, that contour side. Then the arc should be at the end of the eye, like the straight line at the end of the eye. I'm cleaning the brows now with a concealer. I'm using a light shade at the brow bone. Then I'll go with my foundation shade at the beginning of the brows and also at the tail of the brows to give it a natural look. So after concealing every part, as a beginner, you want to blend with a good blending brush so the concealer doesn't dry and leave patches. And be very careful not to touch the brows. When I'm done concealing, I go with a powder shade to set the eyes. I use my contour shade at the front of the brows. Then I go in with a lighter shade to set the highlighted part. Now I'm setting my face with a powder my shade, setting everything to blend in. Next, I'll be going in with a red powder blush at the top of my cheekbone to give my skin warmth and color. I'll also apply a little on my nose. Going back in with powder my shade to blend everything in place. I'll be lining my waterline with this gel liner. It helps pop the eyes and remove dullness. I'll also line the top of my eyes in prep for lashes. Next is your mascara. After applying too much product on your eyes, there will be residue on the hair, so you eliminate it with your mascara. Same goes for bottom lashes. Now I'm applying the lashes. I'd already put the glue behind the camera. I'm outlining my lips with my pencil, brow pencil. Gives the lip a contoury look. Going in with a new shade from this palette. Then I smack. Don't smudge, just smack. It gives lips an ombrage effect. Next up, I'll be setting my face with this Kiss Beauty Fix Spray to melt down every powder. That is it for today's class. Tomorrow we are going to be using a model, so we are going to be doing makeup on a model's face for those that want to chase makeup as a career. I have come to the end of this video. I hope you learned a thing or two. Rush down to class now and ask your questions. And if you're watching this video and you have no idea of the class, thank you for watching till the end. You can follow us on our social media handles for when next we run campaigns like this. See you on the next one. Bye.